Hi, everyone. I'm Tim. Welcome to the Key to All of This. With me, as ever, is Dylan. And
Hey.
today, always catching me by surprise, eternally. And today we're talking about one of our favorite bounty hunters. And we have a lot of favorite bounty hunters, but this is like top three. There's going to be a ESPN 30 for 30 documentary about this guy, Dengar.
Yeah, I have this just love for this guy, and I don't know why. And it started with just seeing him in Empire,
Mm-hmm.
and I've always just been obsessed. I mean, I've got him right here, Power of the Force 2, and I also have him still in a package in with all my other Star Wars toys. I've just always been fascinated with Dengar, and I don't really know why.
Well, I think it's clear. It's like this guy is obviously a trained killer. He also looks like, he's got battle scars,
Hmm.
warts, the measles, something that would lead him to cover himself with bandages, like a
Yeah.
mummy.
Hmm.
So like that's always been an intriguing factor
That's why
about
you
him.
love him.
That's why I love him, because he's obviously working through a disability.
He
he's
reminds me of my mummy.
Yeah, I know. He's obviously powering through whatever pain he's going through. But yeah, I think also what I love about this is that he is like one of the few characters that's like he's voiced at one point by Simon Pegg, who
Hmm.
who also portrays Unkar Plot. It's like one of
Yep.
those cool like mishmash instances of Star Wars that are far too rare, I think.
Hmm. And on my wall, I've got. Let me just move this a little bit.
Ooh,
I've got my Shaun of the Dead poster
right there. There's Dengar again.
because Simon Pegg is my absolute favorite.
He is the best.
Yeah, I hope that he comes back and plays in live action, but it would have to be in some kind of prequel because he looks nothing like older Dengar.
Yeah, and I think also just like prequel era Dengar is also much more heavily covered than in the original
Hmm.
trilogy. Like the uh, comic books cover him extensively. And he's
Hmm.
such a badass. He's such a badass. I mean, he's always been a badass, but he's just like
Yeah.
a ruthless killer.
Yeah, they in the comic books they also kind of make him look like a little weakling, like a little bit of a dork at times. Like he fights with Chewbacca and Han Solo
Yeah.
through one whole series and they just kind of make him look like a fool. And then in I believe he's in Aftermath as well, and he like gets butted in the face with a gun and like breaks his nose and that's like it.
Well, yeah.
But Clone Wars did him right.
Yeah. I mean, he has an extensive track record, but he is very much like, he's, there's a hierarchy of like how the bounty hunters are portrayed in the comic books. Like,
Hmm.
Boba Fett is like number one, like
Oh yeah.
without a doubt. Like, he's even more sinister than in the movies, which I didn't think was possible. But like,
Hmm.
just murdering like murdering innocent civilians, like
Oh yeah.
to get information, like, and then removing them as a means to just like, you know, cut the information train right there.
Hmm.
And
Yeah, we saw that. Sorry,
no, go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Yeah.
We saw in Clone Wars that he partnered with Boba Fett and a bunch of the other bounty hunters. Do you expect to see him in anything coming up that they've already announced?
I mean, I would not be surprised to see him in Book of Boba. Like, I would for sure expect him to see him there.
Hmm. And I'm going to go back on what I just said about 2 minutes ago. I would love Simon Pegg to play the older version of Dengar as well. I guess they could use prosthetics.
Yeah, I feel like they would just have to do his nose, right?
Well, he's a little heftier.
Yeah, true.
So not too much, but I mean, he was Unkar Plet, so.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a big boy.
Big boy. Yeah,
Big boy.
I think he could definitely still pull it off. Yeah, and to see him in like, God, I would love to see like Cad Bane, and I want like a mix of like the bounty hunters of prequel plus the animated series plus the original trilogy all in one place in live action.
Yeah, for sure. Because I would love to see. We'll keep on Dengar, but I'd love to see Dengar and all those other bounty hunters that we saw in Empire kind of all interacting with each other and getting a better idea of how they kind of take bounties, like we saw in The Mandalorian.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to see that with bounty hunters that we actually know from the 70s and 80s.
Yeah, I would love to see that gang originally seen in the what's it called? The
Empire.
Star Destroyer. Yeah.
Oh, gotcha. Yep.
When Vader's saying no disintegrations, there we go. Like, I would love to see like just a series based on those, those like 10 or so bounty hunters, like over a small amount of time. Like, I'd love to see them all like, in their prime.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I was reading that. So Dengar was part of Clone Wars, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
He was involved with all the Battle of Endor stuff, not necessarily the battle, but the time. But he was also a scavenger at the Battle of Jakku.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And there's no way that we can't get him again. I mean, he's part of like every part of the Skywalker storyline, so he's got to come back.
Yeah, he's very much like kind of like always in the periphery, of a lot of major battles. And I'd love to see, I mean, his point of view would be very much like, I mean, obviously, like he stayed out of it for so long, but to see him and going through and like his objectives rather than, one side or the other, what he's going after for that would be amazing.
Mm-hmm. And I think we've talked about this, but the possible appearance in Rise of Skywalker. Did you see anything with that?
I didn't see that.
Oh my. So Rise of Skywalker may have possibly ruined Dengar completely. Because legend has it that Dengar went ahead and got cybernetic surgery in order to basically bounty hunt forever. And he did so much that he is unrecognizable. And now goes under a different alias, Rathgar Den.
Oh my god, I'm looking this up right now. This is horrifying.
He had a brief, like 3-second cameo in Rise of Skywalker.
This cannot be him. I'm sorry.
I hope it's not.
No, this is...
The main issue is that he's wearing almost the exact same lower gear.
Mm-hmm.
His name is Rathgar Den. Or Rothgar Den.
Rothgar Den.
Dengar. Yeah. That's him.
This would be just... I mean, they even quote starwars.com. It just seems like like, why would you do this?
Mm-hmm.
Why would you create little, like, I don't know, it looks like a little pinky finger.
Like a thumb?
Yeah, thumb, yeah. Thumb with...
He looks like a thumb that's caught in machinery or something.
I know, it's just as horrifying.
Looks like you have to think, in Empire, he's probably in his 40s, meaning Rise of Skywalker, 70s?
I guess. I mean, if that's what I look like when I'm 70, I mean, just
Yeah.
Call it now. Like, take me out, coach.
It
And
depends on how bad you want to bounty hunt when you're older.
I
I mean,
get,
Dog the
I
Bounty Hunter is not that far from looking like Rothgar
look,
Dang.
I know. I think Rothgar Dang might actually look better than Dwayne. That's
Is that
crazy.
is that Dog's real name?
Dwayne, yeah.
Is his name Dwayne Dog?
What is his last name? Dwayne Chapman.
Dwayne Chapman. Dog.
That's how you get. That's I don't know how you get Dog from Dwayne, but that's crazy. Because this is just. I mean, it's just so sad if this is the fate of Dengar.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I love his whole getup. His suit looks great. And if this is what they did to him, then that's people with Star Wars just must hate him.
And also, why would you design the head to look like that?
I know.
Just like perpetually like him.
Like, did you ever draw little smiley faces on your toes?
No, I didn't. But I can imagine
Well, the
that's what.
creators of
Yeah, I know.
Rothgar did.
Oh,
I bet someone was sitting while the designer was creating it. Someone at Star Wars was sitting with their feet up on the desk with
yeah.
no shoes, and they had like stepped in something, and they were like, "Oh, that would be great for Dengar."
Just so sad. Like, yeah, I'm reading the design saying it's like, yeah, I guess he tried to replace damaged body parts, and then I mean, this is just a parable for plastic surgery. I think.
Hmm. Now, do you think that we kind of know the fate of Jar Jar Binks? He becomes kind of like a street clown
Yeah,
that
like a
kids throw
jester. Yeah,
vegetables and stuff.
yeah,
Who do you think has the worst future? Jar Jar Binks or Dengar?
for sure. Dengar. I mean, look at him. He looks like a pencil eraser. Uh, that like was possessed by the ghost of Palpatine. Like he looks, it
Hmm.
looks terrible. It looks like
He
Mister.
looks like if you squeeze his legs, his arms do this.
Yeah, he looks like Mr. Freeze without the freeze. Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Frozen.
Mr. Frozen.
He looks like if Mr. Freeze froze. Yeah.
It just is not. I mean, it just looks terrible. I mean, at least Jar Jar looked the same. I would even say Jar Jar looks better than this.
Hmm.
Well, but he still has my respect. I mean, if that's his consult with his doctor led him to decide to take this elective surgery for his
Hmm.
aesthetics. I mean, good for him. This makes him feel
Yeah.
happy.
Yeah. And with the sequel trilogy, I feel like all the gaps that we're filling is the time between Return of the Jedi and Force Awakens. So if we really want to have Dengar be Rothgar, then I think if we do see him in Book of Boba Fett or something in between those movies, he's got to start the botching of his surgeries. Like
Yes.
have him missing an arm in Book of Boba Fett, or have him completely unwrapped and that's his face, just that weird thumb. But I think we have to kind of see some progress if that's who they're trying to say. That's who he is in Rise of
Yes, we
Skywalker.
have
Then
seen some sort of TLC series about his physical transformation,
hmm.
but I think I can give this podcast at least 2 Rothgar heads up in terms of how
I
we
will too.
covered in terms of how we covered it. He's still, no matter how he looks, no matter how thumb-like his appearance, he's still like one of the most badass bounty hunters of all
Hmm.
time.
And hopefully we get to see more of that in live action.
Yes, fingers crossed. Or shall I say,
Thumbs crossed.
thumbs crossed.
Gotcha, Rothgar.
You can have it. Join us next time when we discuss the possibility of a Darth Maul series. Bum, bum, bum. But for this week, I've been Tim. This is Dylan.
Just for this week.
Just this week. We're switching back next week. And this has been the key to all this. May the Force be with you, Dylan.
And also with you.
Hey.
Tim. Or should I say Tithgar?
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Kevin Malone.
I'm Dengar Malone.